What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. We are going to explore the second Elemental Shaman build that I think works very, very well in the War Within. And it is, of course, the Storm build with the Stormbringer hero tree. Going to have a different talent layout than the Fire build. We're going to abandon things like Primordial Wave and even Liquid Magma Totem. Although, I think in this key, I actually took Liquid Magma Totem, so I have to restructure this a little bit. But let me just talk about the talents, and then I'll talk about the build. There's a bit of, like, fire flame shock weaving you can do with this build to get cooldown reduction from Skybreakers, which is why I think you probably need to take Liquid Magma Totem. So you might come down here and grab this. I'm not entirely sure what actually else you would dump. You probably dump Thunderstrike Ward for now, so it would look something more like this in order to get that Liquid Magma Totem, and that's going to allow you to get a bunch of Flame Shocks out. Those Flame Shocks are going to cool down your Lightning Elemental and bring him back much, much more quickly, and then that's going to increase all your damage, because whenever your Lightning Elemental is active, you're doing more damage, just straight up. But let me dive into the talents quickly, some of the new things that have changed, some of the new talents that are here, then I'll just show you some footage, okay? So number one, we do have our Storm Elemental at the top now, and then Flash of Lightning has changed a little bit. So it now increases the critical strike chance of Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning, which is really strong when you combine it with Storm Caller, which also increases the critical strike chance of all your nature spells. So you essentially have 20% crit chance on Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt, and then more crit chance on like Ellie Blast or Earth Shock, which is really cool. This is a massive win because there's a new talent down here called Primordial Fury, which gives you more critical strike damage based on your Elemental Fury. So the baseline of Elemental Fury says your crits do 250% more damage. Now they do 275% more damage with Primordial Fury, and we just got 20% crit from Flash of Lightning and Stormcaller. That's a crazy, crazy amount of crit, and then the damage that they're doing is way higher now. So really love this kind of combo. I like that Blizzard is baking some of this in for the Lightning build. Obviously, with the Fire build, your Lava Bursts are like always critting because they hit your Flame Shock target, so there's not really... It's kind of just free damage, but I'm glad they're giving us some extra crit for free. Once you get some actual crit on your gear, this is going to be really, really strong. Okay, there's the new Ice Fury nodes. If you didn't see the last video, I think this is always a strong talent node to take now. Ice Fury is passive and it procs based on your Lava Burst cast, and then it's only single target damage now. But Fusion of the Elements ends up equaling a ton of extra damage for you. And I had some lovely people in the comments remind me that Flame Shock is a volcanic ability, so it's nature and fire. So this text here says the next time you cast a nature and a fire spell, you'll additionally throw an elemental blast. So you can actually just get a proc on Ice Fury, press Ice Fury, and then press Flame Shock, and it will send the extra Ellie Blast for free. That extra Ellie Blast, by the way, will give you an Echoes of the, Elemental Equilibrium proc, and it will give you an Elemental Blast buff, right? The extra stat buff that you get. So this is a very powerful 2-node combo here. I think you should take it on probably every build that you're running, no matter what, because it's just really, really good damage in single target. Okay, back to the lightning stuff. Storm Frenzy is a new talent. Your next Chain Lightning or Lightning Bolt has 40% reduced cast time after casting your spender. Okay, you can get 2 charges. This just really helps to shore up the cast speed. Basically, all the lightning stuff is based around cast speed. Casting faster. Go as fast as you can. The faster you're casting, the more elemental overloads you can do. With Supercharge, your overloads can overload again. When you're inside your Storm Elemental, it's giving you cast speed, so you can cast faster and faster and faster. This just helps to sort of double down on that same idea where it's all about getting reduced cast time with the Lightning build. The Fire build just doesn't have that same kind of like thematic design. So very, very cool that they're doing more of that. Swelling Maelstrom just gives you more damage on your Earthquake and Ellie Blast. Lightning Conduit is good. This gives you more nature damage. 8% is quite good. So right now, my Lightning Bolt does 117,000. And if I put this on, it actually doesn't go up. So right now, this does seem to be bugged. I think this 117,000 from Lightning Bolt is already... it's because I put Lightning Shield on like earlier before I started recording. And anyway, it's just kind of bugged now. But just know this does actually work. It gives you 8% more nature damage, which is good. That applies to your spenders, and it applies, not Earthquake, of course, but it applies to your single target spenders, and then Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt. Very, very good. And then you have Elemental Unity. This also increases your nature damage dealt by 10%, which is very, very strong. So together you have an 18% bonus to your nature damage dealt whenever you have an Elemental active, which is going to be your Storm Ellie, of course. So awesome. A lot of your damage is now being pushed inside of this Storm Elemental cooldown, which again, I think is why having Skybreakers is such an important bonus to have. And potentially an additional way to spread Flame Shock so that you're cooling down your Storm Elemental, so you can get your Storm Elemental back, so that you can get the benefit of this 10% damage bonus here, and then inside your Storm Elemental window, you're just going to be blasting damage, okay? I think it's really, really good. Okay? Thunderstrike Ward, this is the new shield imbuement that you get. It's currently doing no damage at all. So I think most builds are going to pass on this unless they seriously buff it, because it's not even worth taking. It's like 0.5% of your entire damage at the end of a key. So it should, in my mind, as an imbuement, it should be giving you something like 3% of your damage. Something kind of like that. Think about like Flame Tongue Weapon. This actually gives you 7% more fire damage because of the bonus from enhanced imbues. So the base is 5%, it goes up to 7%. 7% more fire damage on your Flame Shock, on your Lava Burst, on your Lava Beam, like on your Liquid Magma Totem, on your Fire Ellie itself. Like, that's a disgusting bonus there. This shield imbue for the Lightning build is nowhere near as good as that. So they need to buff it for sure. Okay. You have Stormkeeper, of course, only one charge. They took away the second charge. And then you have Fury of the Storms now, which says activating Stormkeeper summons a powerful lightning elemental to fight beside you. This guy's pretty good. He does about 2 to 3% of my damage, I think, overall, which is actually amazing for just one talent point. So I actually like him a lot. He's great. My understanding is that this guy does not get his duration increased from Everlasting Elements. I don't know if that's a bug. I submitted it as a bug to Blizzard, but we'll see what they say. And then we have Lightning Rod at the bottom here, of course. I do think that this build should end up taking Echoes of the Great Sundering. Echoes of the Great Sundering, I know the playstyle is annoying, but it has been dramatically buffed. It's a 1-point talent, but it gets the bonus of having the same benefit as what you got with the 2-point talent before. So 120% additional damage on your Earthquake, or 140% is a crazy amount of damage on your Earthquakes. So I think we're going to have to learn how to play around with Echoes of the Great Sundering. I forgot to take it in this build. I don't know what I would have to give up here. I can't give up this line, unfortunately, but maybe I just give up Searing Flames. No, I have to figure it out. But I think you should take Echoes of the Great Sundering because it's very, very strong. Echo the Elementals is currently not working right now. So that's unfortunate because it looks like it has a really cool effect, giving you an extra elemental once your regular elemental despawns. But once again, it's not really working all the time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see. Those are most of the big changes and some of the important synergies that I want you to know about for the Storm build. So let's look at some numbers. Remember, this is beta. I always want to give this disclaimer because it's important to understand that this is all going to change very dramatically over the next, probably, over the next 4 to 5 weeks. It's going to change as the expansion even starts to launch. But one of the cool things about the Lightning build that I was noticing is that your opening burst is just absolutely ridiculous. And I don't even think I'm playing this particularly well, but I don't think it's a complicated rotation. So if you're looking for an elemental shaman build that is pretty simple to execute, I would highly recommend this build. I think the fire build is a little bit trickier to execute because it really relies on your flame shocks. You must be spreading flame shocks all the time, or else your damage just goes in the toilet. It's just really bad. This build does not rely on that as much. I do have Liquid Magma Totem in this build, once again, just to reduce the cooldown of my Storm Elemental. And you can see, after killing that first pack with my Liquid Magma Totem and my Flame Shocks going around doing a bunch of lightning damage, we did a lot of damage overall, but we also reduced the cooldown of our Ellie. Let's just look at that really quickly. He starts at a 2.5 minute cooldown, and then he just starts going ding, 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 ding. You can see 57, 56, 55, 52, 50. We're reducing the cooldown of our Storm Elemental, both with our nature spells that we're casting, because that's what Flash of Lightning does as well. It gives you cooldown reduction, and because of our Flame Shock. So you're double dipping on cooldown reduction on your Storm Elemental. And again, so much of your damage, you're going to get lots of extra damage if your Storm Elemental is active for as long as possible. So I think that this is really cool, and I think that there's a build that is going to incorporate Liquid Magma Totem in Mythic Plus. I don't know if it's the best build. It's just the one that I chose that I was having fun with, and I think it worked out quite well in this dungeon. There goes my Fire Ellie or Storm Ellie right there. Put my Liquid Magma Totem down, and then we're just blasting with lightning damage now. Have our Stormkeeper proc at the beginning there. Lots of Earthquake damage. We'll get a big Tempest here. It also looks really great. I think this tree I think this build looks way better than the fire build. I know exploding into Ascendance form is really fun, but I feel like a lot of people who have played Ellie Shaman are going to be wanting to do a lightning build again. And I promise you, it does lots of damage and it looks really cool when you do it. That's one of the best parts about it. So let's go to 142 here. I'll do another big AoE pack for you. So we'll go back here. I think I was a little bit, yeah. So there's a bunch of AoE packs in sequence here, which are really good. But the bottom line is the AoE damage is strong. The single target damage, I think, is a little bit lower because I took Earth Shock instead of Ellie Blast. I think you should absolutely take Elemental Blast. It's going to really help shore up your single target damage, which is probably the weakness of this build. Ellie Blast just hits so hard. Which is really cool. So yeah, again, if you have your Storm Elemental active, he gives you 10% more nature damage. That also applies to Elemental Blast. If you have your Lightning Shield on, that gives you 8% more nature damage. That also applies to Elemental Blast. So you have all these stacking kind of buffs going, and I think it makes Elemental Blast really shine, where Earth Shock is of course cheaper, and that's really valuable, but I just don't know. I think that Ellie Blast is better, in my opinion here. So another big AoE pull here on this this pack right here. Boom. We're doing lots of AoE damage. I have my Flame Shocks going, and we're reducing the cooldown of our Ellie. You can see he's just coming right back there. 30 seconds. He's going to be back in like 8 seconds here. And then we can summon him again and keep the train rolling. This pack's about to die, so I summon him on the next pack. These next couple packs are, again, really big damage. What I love, I think one of the coolest things about Ellie is that you have a 1 minute Stormkeeper. And then if you're cooling down your Storm Elemental, you kind of have like a 1 minute and 15 second Storm Elemental as well, if you're doing it really well. So that means that every pack in Mythic Plus, almost every single pack, you're going to be doing gigantic damage, which is awesome. That's what you want. You want to be able to feel powerful on every pack that you're killing. And I think that you can with the Storm build, with these Tempest procs that are coming in, and with the Lightning Rod coming on over the top. It looks so cool with the Lightning Rod. Here comes a big AoE pull here. I get my Liquid Magma Totem down again. We have Stormkeeper coming back. We're going to do a crazy amount of damage. We're at 1.7 million right now. Popping off here. Here comes more damage, 1.7 million. Keeping it up there. We almost got to 2 million. We got to 1.89 million there. So again, I think I could do more damage if I practice this a lot more. And this build really does reward you for just pressing Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt over and over again. And if you don't like that, I understand. If you're not a fan of that, that's fine. I'm a really big fan of it. I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm really ready to do a build that does not focus on Lava Burst over and over again, and Primordial Wave. I'm so sick of those abilities. I'm telling you right now, I'm so sick of them. So I think this build is something that can work, that will work, and you're going to be having a lot of fun with it. And if you play it better than I do, which I'm playing really poorly right now because I'm not summoning my elemental. There we go, I finally summoned him. As you learn how to play this build, I think you're going to get better and better, and the damage will just be disgusting. It'll be really strong. So let me get to the actual damage numbers overall. I'll get to 202 here. We actually get to see our full numbers overall. That is the 202.50 is what we're looking at. Sorry. So there we go. That's what we're looking at right there. You've got Chain Lightning being your top damage there, 32%, doing lots of damage. Earthquake, Flame Shock, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Rod, Lava Burst, Liquid Magma Totem. And then you can see these Elemental Blasts down here. The 4% of our damage from Elemental Blast, those were free because of our Ice Fury and then Frost Shocks. And then again, after you cast Ice Fury, if you cast a Fire and a Nature spell, which is just Flame Shock, then it'll send an elemental. Those are those free LE blasts that I'm getting. Really strong. Tempest is still really disappointing to me. It's not doing anywhere near enough damage, in my opinion, for it to be like a whole capstone, you know, hero talent tree that's built around it. It's not really doing that much damage. So I do hope Blizzard buffs the damage of Tempest for Ellie Shaman. For Enhancement Shaman, Tempest is doing lots of damage because you have Maelstrom weapon stack scaling, and you just don't have that with Ellie. So that's what the damage looks like. I did about 520k overall. Could have been a little bit better, but we had some weird wipes and stuff. But just know, guys, I promise you, this build works very, very well, and the damage is awesome. Like, there's a couple different variants you could do with this build. You don't have to run Liquid Magma Totem, but I think it's helpful to get the cooldown reduction on the Ellie. You could instead just pivot over and get Echoes of the Great Sundering, and then you could actually abandon this whole line right here and maybe grab some other talents elsewhere that could be more helpful for you. Maybe if they buff Thunderstrike Ward, that'd be really good. Get more duration on your elementals, maybe get more Maelstrom generation. You could just do it that way, and then you basically abandon the Flame Shock thing altogether, except, you know, you spread a couple of Flame Shocks to get the cooldown reduction, but really you're gonna go Echoes of the Great Sundering, get a bunch of damage that way. There's a couple choices here for whatever build you want to run. That's one point. But either way, it works, it does damage, and it's really fun to play, and it looks really cool when the lightning is crashing down with Tempest and Lightning Rods and extra blasts, even from Thunderstrike Ward. If you have it, it just looks and feels really good. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know if you're excited about a lightning build for Elemental Shaman. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to play Stormbringer when the War Within goes live. It's going to be a blast. So let me know what you think. Once again, love you all. I will see you in the next one.